This video is actually going to be, I went to school and I got a business degree. So like really calling to me because for a long time I struggled with the idea of like wanting to be more normal. Hello and welcome to First Fruits Crochet. My name is Julia and today I am going to be continuing where I left off on last week, 2 weeks ago's video. I took a little break. I was really tired and I could not string two thoughts together at all. I needed to take a break. This week for my crochet projects that you're going to see interspersed throughout this video are my mom's sweater, my aunt's cardigan, and maybe a mystery third project. We're going to continue. Last week I had the idea of starting a 12-week year type system and going through 3 different mediums of storytelling and seeing which one that I liked. And I was talking about doing comics as the first one. Like continuing off of that, I came up with an idea for what I wanted to do for my first comics project or comic project because I have never done like journal style comics before, but that was going to be what I was going to do. I could either do multiple panels or just straight up journal with doodles in it. I was thinking I was going to do a journal with doodles in it. And I was racking my brain a little bit last week, figuring out what I wanted that little mini book to be about. Because I could have gone a couple of different ways about it. I could have done a straight up journal where it's like stream of consciousness or various things that I'm actually going through or pondering or growing through. I could have done that, or I could have done something that was like thematic, like a book about love or musings about love or stuff about time or anything else. I could have picked a one-word theme and gone with that. So that's kind of what I did, and that's what I'm going with. I've picked a theme, and I'm calling it being blank, being the theme. And I was going to answer a bunch of questions about that and treat those questions like a journal prompt. Excuse me. I was going to treat each of those questions as though it was a prompt in a journal. And I have 13 of them. I'm going to do 13 entries. On average, my journal page entries, I like doing math. I like being this methodical about stuff. On average, my journal page entries are about 3 pages. Some might be shorter, some might be longer, but I'm aiming for 3 pages. If I don't end up meeting that, I have also a couple of supplemental questions that I could use as like drawing prompts or sketching prompts. It'll be really fun and interesting. I was planning on doing, I don't know how interesting this video is actually going to be. I went to school and I got a business degree. I think in those kinds of terms, I think, okay, what is going to be best for production flow? What is going to be best in long term? That's kind of the brain that I'm bringing into this as well. Tackling this project, I was going to do one piece flow. Or basically what that means is you take one part of the project all the way through into completion or as far into completion you can handle. Another acronym that's used is called Ohio, only handle it once. That was going to be the goal for this. I'm planning on letting misspelled words exist, and I'm planning on letting any drawings or doodles or sketches that I do be messy. I want it to be alive and exist, and especially for my theme, I think that's okay. Some other questions or concerns that I have with this project is I like the idea of giving myself an avatar and not necessarily drawing myself as I actually am. But I could draw myself as I actually am, but I don't know. It doesn't sound as fun to me. I was debating the idea of going with what I was originally drawing myself as in my regular journal. In my regular journal, I'm drawing myself as a pig, but I kind of quit doing that because I realized it was coming from a place of like self-criticism or self-bullying. I stopped drawing myself as a pig and I don't have an avatar for myself anymore. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. At the same time, I also think ahead. I'm thinking in the long term, if I ended up enjoying making comics this way or publishing journals in this way, would I want to have a consistent avatar for myself, or would it be okay in my own brain if each book is its own separate thing and I have my own avatar for myself no matter what the book is and it's completely different every time? And then I'm also thinking about it in a marketing sense, like would people want to buy it? Would they understand that it's the same person, it's the same book, it's the same little world that I'm making for myself, even if the focal character that is talking or doing a lot of the things is different. Yeah, that's kind of the questions that are up in the air right now. I was going to do my first entry today. I have not finished Linda Berry's book. I was going to use her book as a warm-up because I journal right after doing the warm-ups anyway. I was going to take that and apply it here. My theme for this book is being weird. And I wanted to that theme was like really calling to me because for a long time I struggled with the idea of like wanting to be more normal or like wanting to not draw much attention to myself. And it's vulnerable in a really safe, comfortable way that I feel like is a really good entry point. Because I could do a whole book about love, and that would be extremely vulnerable in a way that I'm not super comfortable with right now. I was considering that perspective as well. Like, what am I comfortable with showing the world right now? Was kind of where my head was at. And I was gonna go with 13. It's 13 entries. It might be 13 weeks. I don't know. I'm gonna still figure out the pace. I've never done this before, but I am planning on taking each journal entry all the way through as far into completion as I can. Then by the end of the 12 weeks or however long it takes, I will have a finished publishable book and that'll be done and it'll be great. There won't be any editing because I'll have done that as I go. There won't be any formatting because I'll also have done that as I go. That's kind of where my head is at and what I was thinking. For the two projects after that, I don't have completely planned, but I do have conceptually, I have them planned. Like, I was going to do a poetry project. I was going to do like a chapbook type thing. If you don't know, because I didn't know, a chapbook is like, I think less than 50 poems. It's a For the prose project, I was going to come up with one story idea and do 100 chapters, all 100 words each. At the end, I'll have a novella that is 10,000 words. Well, I don't even know if that's a novella. That's probably a novelette. But then I'll have a little 10,000 words piece of prose that is published. I'll have a maybe 50, I feel like it's less than 50, book of poetry, 50 poem book of poetry, and then I'll have this little journal project. And they're all going to be around the A6 size or whatever is acceptable for books like that. They're all going to be small and the same size because I like that. And then there'll be a matching set. And I was planning on having a foreword right at the beginning that would be like, hey, this is a part of a 12-week project that I made for myself to figure out if I like doing this. Yeah, I'm excited. I don't know how well this video will perform because I am basically talking about myself and what I'm doing, but it's ideas, I guess. And then something else that I did this week was I let myself be bored. I started listening to the book Limitless by Jim Kurtz. I don't remember his last name, but it's all about basically like hacking your brain so you can do more and do the most and live all the way up to your potential. And that's like a great book for me right now, especially with what I'm trying to do with everything. Something that book said was it's really good to let yourself have downtime and let yourself be bored. I was doing that a bit more this week. I was trying to spend less time on my phone and let myself be bored. And I came up with this amazing story idea for a book, for a series of 8 books. And I have zero idea if I'm actually going to do it because I don't know what my medium is. If it ends up being novels, great. I can write this series in novels and that would be fantastic. If it ends up being like journal style comics, I don't know how that would work with this specific story idea, but that would be great. Then I can do this series of books in comics or journal comics or whatever they're called. And then if it ends up being poetry, great, I could do it in poetry. I could do verse novels. I'm kind of excited. There's a whole bunch of things that are open to me and I get to explore them. I have no idea what the future holds, but I do know it has a lot of writing in it. Yeah, if I don't have a call to action or anything, subscribe if you want to. I'll see you next time.